and use that as the main foundation for the track and build all
There were celebrities who once made the entire world admire them for their almost flawless beauty. But over time, the pressure to stay forever young, forever beautiful, and never appear old in front of the public pushed many stars into cosmetic procedures with no way back. What makes these stories truly disturbing is that most of these tragedies did not begin with vanity, but with the fear of being criticized, forgotten, and replaced in a world obsessed with appearance. Today, we're looking back at famous faces that once felt so familiar, but now are almost unrecognizable. And the more you watch, the more you'll realize that sometimes the price of perfection can be even scarier than time itself. If you enjoy stories like these, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
Charlie would come in and my brother would be there and the two of them would be drinking at 7 and then look at him. And Ed Bukowski would go, oh, you... And I go...
Oli London sparked worldwide controversy after publicly undergoing multiple cosmetic procedures in an attempt to look like their K-pop idol. From the nose and eyes to the overall facial structure, nearly every feature was altered to resemble someone else. Later, Oli admitted to struggling with a serious identity crisis and intense psychological pressure. The story quickly became a major topic of debate about the influence of idol culture and social media on self-identity and self-perception. This may be the most disturbing lesson on this list. Cosmetic surgery becomes truly dangerous not only when it changes someone's face, but when it slowly causes a person to lose their sense of who they really are. No one can deny that Michael Jackson was a musical genius. But alongside that fame came overwhelming pressure about his appearance and non-stop scrutiny from the media. Over the years, Michael's face changed dramatically. His nose became noticeably narrower. His skin tone looked different, and his facial features grew increasingly distant from the image of the young star audiences remembered from the Jackson 5 era. Although many of the changes were connected to vitiligo and other health issues, Michael himself admitted to undergoing several nose surgeries. Over time, the public slowly stopped talking about his music first and began focusing more on his appearance instead. It became a heartbreaking paradox.
and use that as the main foundation for the track and build all
Michael Jackson's story feels like a warning about what can happen when someone lives too long under the pressure of having to appear perfect. In a world where appearance is often treated as a measure of worth, even a legend can become a victim of insecurity.
I don't know over what period of time, but I have lots of dreams in the
And perhaps that's why Michael Jackson's story still makes millions of people reflect even today. If you also feel that appearance pressure in modern society is becoming more frightening than ever, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep following the untold stories behind fame that not everyone dares to talk about. Jocelyn Wildenstein was once known as a wealthy icon of New York high society. But over time, the public began giving her cruel nicknames after a series of dramatic cosmetic procedures completely transformed her appearance. Her tightened facial features, unusually stretched eyes, and altered cheeks turned her into one of the most famous examples of extreme plastic surgery. Many reports have suggested that Jocelyn changed her appearance in an attempt to match her ex-husband's personal preferences.
You know, I think plastic surgery is the way you keep your skin.
You've had?
Not like people think, because
Although she never fully confirmed those claims, the story still led many people to ask an uncomfortable question: how many individuals are secretly changing their bodies just to keep someone else from leaving? The greatest tragedy is not simply a face being transformed, but the moment a person begins believing they must become someone else in order to feel worthy of love. And when that happens, cosmetic surgery is no longer just about beauty. It becomes a sign of deep emotional pain and lasting psychological scars. Back in the 1980s, Mickey Rourke was considered one of Hollywood's ultimate leading men, known for his rugged charm and rebellious stare. But after years of professional boxing, he underwent multiple reconstructive surgeries to repair severe facial injuries. Mickey himself later admitted that he had gone to the wrong doctor, which caused several of the procedures to turn out far worse than expected.
Charlie would come in and my brother would be there and the two of them would be drinking at like, 7 in the look at him. And Bukowski would go, oh, you... And I go...
As his appearance changed more and more over the years, many fans could barely recognize the actor who once captivated all of Hollywood. Mickey Rourke's story reveals a truth that people rarely talk about. Not every surgery begins with vanity. Sometimes, it starts as an attempt to repair real physical damage. But when the body goes through too many procedures, the line between reconstruction and destruction can disappear very quickly. As the head of the Versace empire, Donatella Versace has always lived in a world where beauty is treated as power. Over the years, her appearance changed dramatically, with noticeably fuller lips, tightly stretched skin, and visible signs of fillers and other cosmetic procedures. What makes her story especially striking is that Donatella was never a victim of poverty or lack of opportunity. She was already one of the most powerful women in the fashion industry. But even people at the very top cannot escape the pressure to stay forever young. Donatella's story reflects a much larger issue than most people realize. The very industries that celebrate beauty are often the same ones that create the deepest fear of aging. And when getting older is treated like failure, many people begin racing against time at any cost. In your opinion, where is the line between taking care of your appearance and losing your true self? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear more real stories hidden behind Hollywood's glamorous image, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to follow the channel in future videos. But if Donatella's story shows how the fear of aging can haunt even the most powerful figures in the fashion world, the next story reflects an even darker side of modern fame, the pressure created by reality television and social media. When millions of people constantly judge someone's appearance every single day, many young stars begin believing they need to change their bodies as much as possible just to stay relevant and be noticed. And Heidi Montag became one of the most controversial examples of that reality. At just 23 years old, Heidi Montag shocked the public after openly revealing that she had undergone 10 cosmetic procedures in a single day.
Have not looked at the curriculum.
No.
Now, let me ask you this. What?
That's like my ultimate goal. I want to be like the fun party PR girl in LA.
Including breast augmentation, chin surgery, liposuction, and a brow lift. Her image quickly spread across American media as a symbol of a plastic surgery-obsessed generation. Years later, Heidi admitted that she had been consumed by the pressure of fame and the obsession with looking perfect on reality television. The long-lasting health complications and regret that followed led Heidi to repeatedly speak out and warn younger generations about the dangers of chasing perfection. What's most frightening is that Heidi is not an isolated case. In the age of social media, many young people are growing up believing that the more extreme or shocking their appearance becomes, the easier it is to gain fame and attention. But internet attention often disappears within days, while the consequences left on the body can remain for a lifetime. Priscilla Presley surprised the public over the years as her appearance began to change in unusual ways. Later reports revealed that she had allegedly become the victim of a fake doctor who used industrial-grade silicone during cosmetic procedures. This was not simply a story about a beauty treatment gone wrong, but a warning about the dangers of an unregulated cosmetic industry. As the demand for youth and beauty continues to grow, countless clinics and unqualified individuals still try to profit from people's insecurities. Priscilla's story shows that sometimes the greatest damage does not come from vanity itself, but from trusting promises of quick beauty and permanent perfection while ignoring basic safety. Kenny Rogers was once one of the most recognizable faces in American country music, known for his warm smile and the natural character that age had added to his appearance. But after undergoing eyelid surgery, his look changed so dramatically that Kenny himself later admitted he regretted the procedure. He once revealed that the saddest part was no longer being able to recognize himself in the mirror.
And doing my Christmas tour every year. And as younger and earlier in my career, and in my book I wrote,
That detail resonated deeply with many people, because sometimes we fail to realize that our natural imperfections and signs of aging are exactly what give us our unique identity. Modern society constantly promotes the idea that aging is something to fight against. But growing older is not as frightening as losing the face that once felt familiar to your loved ones and to yourself. That was the detail that touched so many viewers, because people sometimes forget that the natural marks of time are often what make someone truly unique. Modern society constantly pushes the idea that aging is something to fight against at all costs. But growing older is far less frightening than losing the face that once felt familiar to your family and even to yourself.
in the door and I hadn't seen her for 5 years, I would be just as comfortable as I was. And I would like to think that everybody finds one person like that in their life that they can.
If this story made you think differently about appearance and aging, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep following the real stories hidden behind Hollywood's glamorous spotlight. Janice Dickinson was once known as America's first supermodel, but after decades in the fashion industry, she underwent countless cosmetic procedures in an attempt to maintain a youthful appearance. What makes her story especially interesting is that Janice has spoken very openly about the intense fear of aging within the entertainment world. For women in Hollywood, getting older often means fewer opportunities, fewer roles, and less public attention. That's why Janice's story should not be reduced to simply someone who had too much plastic surgery. It reflects an entire system where women are constantly judged by their appearance, to the point that many feel forced to change their bodies just to survive in the industry. Jessica Alves became widely known after undergoing dozens of cosmetic procedures that completely transformed her appearance, from her facial structure, nose, and jawline to her overall body. Almost nothing remained the same as her original look. In the age of TikTok and Instagram, dramatic transformations like these often attract massive attention and millions of views. But behind those millions of views are painful surgeries, serious health risks, and long-term psychological pressure. Jessica's story reflects the darker side of modern internet culture. The more unusual or shocking someone appears, the easier it becomes to gain attention and fame. But when the human body turns into a tool used to chase attention, it becomes very difficult to know where the final line of safety truly is. Perhaps the saddest part of all these stories is that many of these celebrities were already beautiful, famous, and successful long before they ever entered a surgery room. But in a world where aging is treated like the enemy and social media constantly creates unrealistic beauty standards, many people slowly lose the line between improving themselves and no longer being themselves anymore. And sometimes, the greatest damage is not what happens to the face, but what happens inside a person when they no longer feel satisfied with who they are. If this video made you think differently about modern beauty standards, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to continue exploring the stories hidden behind Hollywood's glamorous spotlight.